already got the camera. It's built up this report. Already got one.
I know. This is my one.
Trustworthy one. Now and then, when he is 40, he suddenly says, "Stop worshipping these idols and believe in the one God." Right, the same God that you believe. Why would he suddenly change that if he hasn't actually come with a message?
Content over everything.
Why would he suddenly make this claim if he hasn't actually come with evidences to prove his claim, which people until today follow?
Like I said, I don't have to know why somebody would do something to accept.
Listen, look, like you did.
Here's the thing. This is my view. Obviously, you have a different view, and it's just a different matter, a different opinion. And I think
no, I'm trying to.
Wait, don't finish. And people can obviously decide themselves. But if somebody comes up with a claim, right, with that has no evidence, I don't have to have a reason. I don't have to come to evidence to disprove it, right? So if I say this is made out of cottage cheese, I don't have to. You don't have to say, well, let me check it out. Maybe it is made out. I have to prove it for you to accept it. Actually, you don't have to. It's not up to me to disprove it. You have to prove it.
As a science man, all right. You know that if someone makes a claim, like for example the Big Bang Theory, how did people try and disprove that claim? They tried to falsify it, right? So if someone comes to make a claim, yeah, obviously you ask them to substantiate their proof. Yeah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did.
If somebody believes a claim.
Can I finish, please?
Sure,
please.
You're so respectful.
So he actually substantiated his claim with the evidences that he was brought. Okay.
We're going around in circles because it's from Islamic sources
that
this is coming down.
No, because we have to. The reason Islamic sources are very important is because in order for me to prove my claim, I have to present what I believe proves the claim. And in order for you to deny that my claim is true, you have to then disprove the claim, the evidences that I bring forward as my proof.
Wrong. Absolutely wrong. I'll tell you why.
That is exactly how it's done in science as well. If I said to you...
No, it's not how it's done in science.
Come on.
No, it's not how it's done in science. No, it's not how it's done in science.
Explain.
In science, the way it's done is, right, if I make a claim, right, I have to give evidence for that claim. Something, and then...
That's what I said.
Okay, fine.
Right, same page.
But I can't, the evidence can't be something, oh, I saw it, right, and then...
I never said that. I said he brought evidence.
I know, it's an example that represents your example.
No,
I'll tell you why it represents your example, because
the example I'm talking about, sorry. Go on, continue, I apologize.
Look, here's the point. The point is that you're bringing it from Islamic sources, right? I didn't see it. There's no reason for me to believe you. So
you do see it.
What?
You do see it.
Do you see what?
You do see the evidence. The evidence that I claim to have, you do see it.
What? See it in a book? What do you mean see it? How do I see it? Oh, that's ridiculous.
That is my evidence.
It's Islamic sources.
That's your evidence?
Yes.
Extrinsic.
That's it. Yeah, it's his evidence.
My evidence.
I'm gonna have to.
I had a dream.
I
wrote a book.
Ask me why.
I'm gonna have to leave it there. I don't think it's a very good argument. I think it's very, very weak.
Leave it there?
Well, it's so weak. It's not worth addressing.
Yeah, you haven't let me address why it is my evidence.
Because it's so. I just explained to you.
If somebody, if somebody be given that chance.
If somebody
don't quote verses from the Quran. That can't be evidence.
No.
Yeah. It's circular reasoning. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
If
I have a book and it says it's written in this book, right, X, Y, Z, and then I ask you to disprove it, it's
then you can examine whether X, Y, Z actually...
You don't have to disprove something that I haven't proven. Something written in a book is not evidence. It's just written in a book. It's meaningless. Don't you get it?
How is it meaningless? So when
because
you write...
I want to start a new religion.
Can I get...
I want to start a new religion.
I
had a revelation.
Can I make...
Are you from Australia?
I wrote a book. Now it's the verses in the book that prove that I had a revelation.
That is not the
you
claim
have
I'm
to
making.
believe it.
That's not the claim I'm making.
Please explain your
Exactly.
claim.
So let me finish.
Are you from Australia?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Melbourne or Sydney?
Melbourne.
Ah, I always mean to go there. Never meant to go there. Yeah.
Right. So when I say the Quran is my...
in Melbourne?
Yes.
Rabbi tells now.
Yes, of course.
Oh, very nice.
So when I say the Quran is my evidence, I'm not just talking about the text itself. Okay? The text, yes, because but the text itself is evidence to people who know Arabic. Okay? Because that is a falsification test given in the Quran. All right? So for the Arabs, they challenged to create literature like it. All right? And because I'm talking to people who don't know Arabic, we can look at other claims. All right? Now we have prophecies in the Quran. We have.
Wait. Your name is Hamza, right?
Mohammad.
Oh, sorry, Mohammad. Mohammad. Look, here's the thing. If you need to bring each argument separately and go through it. Here's the thing, right? The argument that you just brought is a non-starter. Is a complete non-starter.
Why is that? You say it's circular reasoning,
because
but
you can't
I'm actually going to
bring-
prove it to you
I'm gonna-
using real history as well.
No, you can't. Your argument was that because it says it in this book, right? Therefore, I should have to disprove it in order for me to not accept it, right? That is a non-starter. If you have an argument,
So how
right,
do you reject
you have
the
to
claim?
prove it
How
from
do
an
you-
outside source, from a third party. In other words, I can go and check the trees and see that the DNA is thing by myself, or I can check gravity. I can see how it falls, and I can check. If you
Okay,
told
fair
me,
enough, fair
if you
enough.
told me that gravity
We'll
is
roll with that.
9.8 meters per second squared, right? I can go and check that by myself, right? I don't have to trust you, right, that it's true. I wouldn't have to disprove it. I could check it out if it's true.
That's what I'm saying. Now, when I listed prophecy,
Yeah.
there's prophecies in the Quran which you can attest to today, which you can
So
see.
that argument's gone. We're throwing it out the door because that argument's nonsense. Now we're doing a new one about prophecies.
No, prophecy. This is from the Quran. Prophecy is from the Quran. So
Okay.
I'm not talking. So when I said to you the Quran, you need to understand what I'm talking about. And the Quran itself has the signs you're looking for.
Wait, but I'm saying your first argument was that the Quran says it's true.
No, because you
therefore-
never let me
therefore
finish.
it's true.
You never let me
Oh,
finish.
I didn't
No,
let you finish.
That's why.
So it was a
right?
whole package.
It's a whole package.
Oh,
yeah?
wow.
So yeah,
It's a package.
it's not superficial, right? Let me give you an
Can
example.
we jump? I'm sorry. Can we jump? Can we
right,
jump
last
to
thing.
the guy?
Fair enough.
There's a prophecy. What you're saying is, but can I summarize what you're trying to say? There's
Go
a
on.
prophecy in the Quran, right? And because this prophecies turn out to be true,
Yeah.
right? Therefore, the Quran is reliable, and therefore we should trust what it
That
says.
is-
That's
that is-
your
that
argument,
is an
right?
evidence, that is an
Therefore,
evidence.
it's evidence that's true.
There is a
yeah?
one piece of evidence,
There's
so
one
you
piece
can.
of okay,
Any
fine.
more? Any more?
Give me. Let me
Or is
know.
that it?
That's
No,
one
no,
argument.
There's
It's-
got
it's
many,
a-
but there's more.
That's
But let's
a
address
full
one
argument though.
yeah?
It's not half an argument. It's a full argument.
It's a
right?
full argument using
And
one example.
Yeah, it's one
Right.
argument. It's one full argument, right?
Okay.
What's the prophecy?
In chapter 30, all right, it talks about the defeats of the Romans at the hands of the Persians. Was it the defeat of the Byzantines? Right?
Yeah.
It says the Byzantines have been defeated. All right. Now this is talking about something that's already happened. The Byzantines have been
This
defeated.
to me is evidence that Islam
Right.
is not true.
No.
This behavior is clear evidence that there's something.
Are you
serious
going to
wrong
judge?
with
Are
it.
you going to judge a religion by the people or by the evidence that's brought forward?
Both. Both. But if you want to talk about the theological
I think-
arguments, let's deal with the theological argument.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
this
The
is just a
theology-
side thing
we
because
don't-
it happens to be happening
Alright.
right now. I just thought
Okay.
I'd point it out.
Right. Now, in the next few verses, I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, it says, in a few years, how do you call it? Paraphrasing what it says. Okay, the Persians will come back and defeat the Romans.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the significance of this prophecy is not that it just became true. It's the fact that when the Byzantines were defeated, they were defeated to the point where it was almost impossible for them to regain any power to go back and fight again. Yeah? It was impossible. Yeah. And in a few years, indeed, they came back and defeated the Persians. Right? And this was nowhere. Even historians today will tell you that it would have been impossible for anyone to predict that the Byzantines would be able to regain power to go back and fight again and win.
Okay.
All right. So that's the significance of the prophecy.
Okay.
So it was just absolutely impossible. Yeah. And the fact is that when the verse came down, word has not yet reached Arabia that the Byzantines have been defeated. Yeah. But yet it claims it. So we have to ask ourselves, how does this happen? How does, first of all, the claim that an army has been defeated outside of Arabia, which no one has witnessed from within Arabia, yeah, considering we know that Muhammad, peace be upon him, never left the Arabian Peninsula.
So is it
Okay?
possible that
So how did he know that?
Is
And
it
then how did
possible
he
that
know that
somebody traveled?
in that? Huh?
Is it possible that somebody like traveled? Like in those days, what they would
Emissaries.
do is
You're
they would
saying-
travel. People would travel sometimes.
Yeah.
Actually, Muhammad was a businessman. What do you call it? A merchant, right? And he would actually travel because you cannot be a merchant without traveling.
Of course.
So in those days,
When he was,
well, we know people traveled those days anyway, and long before those days, people have been traveling. That's how humans have spread around the world.
yes, true.
So humans travel.
Right.
So is it possible that since there was a human that traveled from where was it? Where was the war?
In the Byzantine Empire.
In the Byzantine Empire, and they travelled there, and they told somebody who told Muhammad. Is that possible?
Is it possible?
Yeah.
No, because no one told him. Because we have eyewitness accounts, yeah, of him receiving revelation. All right. Now, Okay, no. Because remember, what we're talking about, the Quran is revelation, all right? So this statement is, we claim it to be revelation.
I see you as an
Hear me
intellectual.
out. Hear me out.
It's
Hear me out.
blowing my mind.
Hear me out.
I thought you were way above this. Go on.
Hear me
Okay,
out.
go on.
All right.
Hear you out.
All right. So when we say revelation, no one actually whispered into his ear. So when we say revelation,
How do you know?
Who said?
So
And
we're
if
talking about eyewitness accounts.
How can you have a high witness that no one spoke to him?
No, I'm saying no one. The people who saw him.
and even if they didn't,
when he spoke,
maybe
when
he
he
thought
said
up the
this,
idea
when he made
himself.
this statement.
Yeah, but
When
5
he made,
minutes
wait.
before, when he went to the bathroom, someone spoke to him. What do you mean?
Oh, sorry, you're talking about that.
I'm talking about at that point in time when he actually spoke these words.
No one was speaking to him when he was actually speaking.
All right, okay. For the sake of argument, let's say someone told him this.
Yeah, let's say someone told
Let's say
him, yeah.
someone told him this, for the sake of argument. How did he then know that in a few years the reverse will happen? They will come back and.
Okay,
defeat
so
the
the first argument. We got rid of it,
Maybe
right?
he's a
Because
good
let's just say
commentator.
for the sake of
because
argument.
it's completely non-argument. Somebody could have told
You
him.
believe that? I believe it is.
No,
okay.
no, I'm not saying
right.
no. It could be true.
I'm just saying to move
it
this
could
discussion.
Be, it could,
right.
The question is not could it be true. The question is an argument. Of course it could be true. Of course he
Okay,
could
but
have
it's still-
got a
it's still-
revelation from God.
Right.
The question is it an argument? Is it evidence?
Well, let's
That's
get to the crux.
question.
Let's get to the
So
crux
it's no
of the
evidence.
prophecy.
So
Let's
it's
get
no
to-
evidence. So let's scrap that.
Let's get to the crux
So
of the
let's move
prophecy.
to the next
How
one.
would he know? Let's say, for example, as you
That's a
say,
good
wait,
question. Is Jesus also a prophet?
yes,
And is it possible to have a prophet today?
no,
Why not?
because Muhammad, peace be upon him,
Because
was the
he
last.
said-
Huh?
Why?
He is the last messenger
How do you know that?
because of the Quran.
Because he-
Yeah.
No, and if he did say it, so what?
So it's a catch-22.
All right.
Because I want to create my own religion. And I want to be a prophet.
Then you have to prove it's from God.
I'll prove it, don't
Go on.
worry. I'll create a few prophecies. But
No,
what
he
I'm
doesn't
trying
have to
say
prove
is,
it. You have to
why-
disprove it.
How do you know?
No,
You
He
don't
will
have
have
to
to bring-
prove it.
no, he will
You
have to
don't
bring-
have to
no, no,
prove
no.
it. He
Listen.
has to disprove it.
He will bring.
You do not have
right.
to prove
If he
it.
makes that claim,
You have
no.
to disprove
If he makes
it
that
now.
claim, he will bring his evidence, and I'll
I'll
disprove his
write a book.
evidence.
I'll
That's
write
how.
a book.
That's how you
I'll
work.
put
Okay.
my prophecy in the book.
He's got a book at home,
And I had
right?
no
There's nothing
eyewitnesses.
like that book, right? And that's his evidence that it comes from God. There's nothing like that book. In fact, there's nothing like this hat. This hat was created directly from God. There is no hat like it at all. And if you find one that's similar, it doesn't have exactly the same scratches. It's not exactly the same. There is
false- it's a
nothing,
false-
there is no
false
hat like that hat. And that is proof that he's got a message from God. Now, what's your disproof?
Can I dismantle it?
How can you-
All right.
yeah.
When you said like that hat, all right, you're already saying like it. So when you say the same stitching, now you're creating a paradox with your statement. Yeah, you're
Why?
saying
What do you mean?
same stitching, but it has to be like. It doesn't make sense.
Why does it
Yeah,
make
because
sense?
something like it
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's identical. It means
Exactly,
it's like it.
exactly.
Right, so you made two statements in the same sentence which are contradictory.
What are the two
so that's
statements that
so
are
that's
contradictory?
so you said it has to be like it, but it has to be same stitching. That's what you said. It's straight away disproved.
Why?
that
Because
simple.
it's like it in some ways and not like it in other ways. Okay, can I ask you a question?
I've got a question. If
No, wait,
it's
wait.
possible
Let
to
me
have
do this. Let me do
revelation-
this.
Right, no, let's
Let me
go-
do this. Let me do
no,
this.
because we've got
No,
enough
no,
of
no,
it.
no,
We're
no.
talking
Let me
about
do
this
this.
prophecy.
Let me do
We're
this.
talking about this prophecy.
No, let me do this. Let me do this.
Okay, go on.
If I write a book, right, which is like Arabic, right, it's which
Arabic.
language is the Quran in?
Arabic.
So it's the same language. If I write a book in Arabic and the Quran is in Arabic, so it's like it. It's the same thing. If it's
No,
got
no,
the
no.
same stitching, it's
no.
same stitching, therefore it's
Okay,
like it.
this is-
If I write a book in Arabic, it's like it because it's the same language.
But what is
It's
the
identical
falsification?
language.
What is the falsification test?
I can't do this forever. So these arguments are
Can I
so
ask you a
ridiculous.
question? What are all
Are
these
so
cameras
ridiculous.
for?
All right,
I can't-
we'll
I
leave it there for
can't.
now.
What are the
Maybe
cameras
maybe
for?
another time we'll continue.
Okay, have a good one.
Channels? What do you mean?
Thank you very much, my friend.
Shown on
How's it
TV?
going?
Oh,
I'm starving.
see you
I'm
by the
starving.
way.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, I've completely forgotten.
It's shown on TV? What do you mean?
A lot of people forget about this.
I would have walked up.
I think yeah, many have walked
Do you
off.
want a coffee? Oh, really?
I'm actually got. I've just eaten, so
Are you just eating?
I've just eaten. Yeah.
I'm
But-
going to be off. I'm going off.
Are you going off? Yeah. All right.
I need to. I'm starving, man.
Fair
I need
enough.
lunch.
I always try and eat here, eat before I come because I spend 6-7 hours here.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
No, I came in early today. Actually.
Same here, but sometimes I even stay late. I'm like, I think.
Are you? Have you studied science? You studied philosophy science?
Yes.
What do you study?
No, I haven't like. Well, academically.
Oh, not academically, even privately.
Privately, yeah, I do.
What, like what? Because
Oh,
me,
bit
it's
of
all
a-
private. It's all.
Bit of everything, really.
Oh,
Geology, astrophysics.
Wikipedia? Like, what do you
no,
do?
not Wikipedia. I actually read journals.
Scientific journals.
Yeah, I do read scientific journals.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Abi.
Abi.
Abraham.
Abraham. Mohammad. All right. Nice to meet you.
Hey, have a good one.
Yeah.
So, how do you know Rabbi Telsman?
He's from Islamabad.
Content over everything.
Man say it straight. Man don't listen to BBC. Man don't listen to ITV. Listen.
First of all, me want to say big up COE, real bad man from Kingston, Jamaica. You know how we do out here, man. Yeah, man. And me want big up all the man them. That's backing it. I'm joking. Now, Assalamu alaikum to everyone, yeah? That's my brothers out there.